Okay, that's out 2-0. And I understand there's a motion. Senator Stone.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If I can make an additional motion under the Department of Developmental Services, the motion is to request the subcommittee adopt an augmentation of $216 million in general fund to fund an 8% provider rate increase in all rate categories for purchase of services and community-based programs, effective July 1st, 2019, except for those service categories that would receive a rate increase under the governor's May revision proposal. The rate increases would be in place until the Department of Developmental Services implements its comprehensive solutions resulting from its rate study approved by the legislature with consultation and input from appropriate stakeholders.
Do you mind? All right. Is that 216 million? Okay. Thank you.
You keep it.
We are trying to check on the amount of that. Okay, so just to clarify, okay, so the motion is for a 8%, okay, rate, 8% provider rate increase in all rate categories for purchase except for the service categories that receive a rate increase under the governor's May revision program. Okay,
I'd like you to make it the higher of whatever staff determines and at a minimum what the amount is that I've put in the motion, if that is
okay, no, that was
a clarification indeed.
Did you want to say anything about the motion before?
Sure. I think I've talked a lot about this over the past 4 years. So we've had a lot of contractors providing essential services for our developmentally disabled, and frankly, they were hit during the Great Recession. We have not increased those rates. We have a provider study that's taken a couple of years, which are going to hopefully give them the fees that they need and deserve. And this is just a temporary show of goodwill to show that we appreciate their services until we can fully define what those rate increases will be, and respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the motion, Senator Stone. I would want to, first of all, point out that we are, well, obviously we have also just adopted, actually, for our subcommittee, several increases for to address these issues. I also want to clarify that, so as I read the motion, that so basically that's for services that are not recommended for the increase by the governor. So yes, we have the governor's increase, and actually we do intend to look at the rate study. I think I've mentioned to both you and Senator Hurtado, we're looking at, in terms of the rate study, we are looking at proposing in terms of being sure that we have an informational hearing to follow up on the rate study, because I think what we see is that there's sufficiency. Now, this proposal isn't quite, in the structure that we have proposed, but certainly I think, we've heard from folks and certainly appreciate the need that's there. And I know that Senator Hurtado has spoken to that, and you have spoken to that, and I also recognize that as well. And I appreciate you bringing up the motion. I think Senator Hurtado, did you want to make a clarification? Yeah, clarification.
Yes. So, what about well, actually, I'd like to make a substitute motion. Okay. For 8% across the board, except where there is a greater increase, but leaving it up to the final budget.
Okay. All right. Okay. So So what I hear, because I think your motion, that's why I was trying to figure out the motions here.
So my motion was that the governor gave, and may revise.
Right, he gave
four categories that he
right.
increased by more than 8%, and he didn't increase the other services that, many of which are very important. I said, let's raise the balance up 8% just to close the gap.
So, because I'm not sure whether the governor's proposal actually raised everyone, even the focused one, at least 8%, and I see LAO shaking their head. So your motion is to be sure that everyone at least has an 8% increase, even for the areas where the governor proposed an increase. So I think that's the clarification. Okay, so we want to be sure everyone gets at least a minimum of 8 increase, because even the areas where the governor proposed, which we did adopt, not necessarily 8%. Okay, yeah, I got some nods here. Okay, so good. So we want to be sure we catch the right thing. Okay, so let's go. So all right. So why don't we go ahead and move Senator Hurtado's motion, which is a minimum 8% increase across the board. Right. I just want to be sure I got your motion correctly. With a minimum 8%, and of course, if there's a greater than 8%, we are going to this proposed by our previous actions that we just took and the governor, then that increase, of course, will, in excess of 8%, would, of course, continue to be approved. Okay. All right. We're all good? All right. We clarify. Okay. Good. So we'll take up the motion by Senator Hurtado. Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Pan?
Aye.
Senator Hurtado? Aye. Senator Stone?
Aye. Thank you.
Okay. We have passed that out 3-0, and we will cross our fingers. Okay.